Hello viewers, I greet you all. Let us look at introduction to computers today. This content has been softened to suit young learners that could not understand the technical computer terminologies, complicated computer words. So this tutorial is basically made for young ones in a way that all the words, all the content is softened for them to understand well. Hoping you've got me well. Those are my contacts that if you feel like contacting me for more details and more tutorials, you can contact me and we get in touch. Remember to subscribe on my YouTube channel. It's called KGB Ronald. You just subscribe for more tutorials about computer lessons, right? And here we go. Any child that is going to handle computer lesson has got to know what a computer is, and that's why we are beginning by softening the definition of a computer to suit the understanding of a young child. It is very simple. Computer is just an electronic device. Device simply means a machine. So a computer is an electronic device used to receive, store, and sending information. It is called an electronic device because it uses electric power to work, right? So that's why we're saying a computer is an electronic device used to receive. Receive simply means getting, getting. So when you say receive, you simply mean getting. Store simply mean keeping, and definitely sending information. So a computer is basically used for those three reasons, for those three purposes. It is used to receive, to store, and to send information. So if I add up those three concepts, I can come up with a computer definition, saying that a computer is an electronic device used to receive, store, and send information. Another person can say that a computer is an electronic machine used for getting, keeping, and sending information. I think it is softened for you to understand well that a computer is just a machine. It's just a machine that uses electricity to work. So that's why I'm saying that a computer is an electronic machine used to get, keep, and send information. This is a point note. This computer is called an electronic device or an electronic machine simply because it uses electric power to work, right? Let us see how a computer looks like. Computers are of different types. We have computers called desktop computers, the big ones that has got these basic parts. This one, this one, this one, this one. So this big computer type is the one we call a desktop computer. So the first type of a computer is called desktop computer, and there is another one called laptop computer. So if I ask you to give types of computers, you can just say desktop computer and laptop computer, right? Computers are very, very important to us. They are very useful to us in a way that they help us to store information. It helps us to keep information for future use. Information like music, like movies, it can also help us to keep important documents, or we can use it can also store photos and more. So this computer can help us to store information, can help us to keep information. This very computer can also be used for communication purposes. That is, sending and receiving information from different places. I can be here and I communicate to a person, upload. Yeah. So as we shall see, there are many ways we can communicate to other people using a computer. Some people use Skype, some people use these social media platforms, the WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. Others communicate using electronic mails, yeah, using communication websites like Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, and many others. So we use computers for communication. I can communicate to any person all over the world using a computer, provided I've got internet. So long as I've got internet, you'll be able to communicate with other people all over the world, right? We use computers for entertainment purposes. Yeah, if I feel like being entertained, I can use a computer, maybe through playing games. I can watch movies, I can play music, and I enjoy. And in that, I'm entertaining myself, so I can use a computer to entertain myself. So a computer is used for entertainment. We can use a computer still for research purposes. If you feel like researching more about something, getting to know more about something, I can use a computer to make research on something, right? So an example, I may be in need of getting more about a human heart. So I can use a computer using an internet platform, go to Google, and I Google the content about heart, the human heart. Whereby I just type in human heart, it gives me details about it. It can even give you videos about a human heart. You see how it functions. You can ask for the functions of a human heart. So the computer using internet will give you more information about it. So this internet helps us to make research. Maybe I may be in need of researching about the president of Uganda. So about his family, his real names, how old he is, and so on. So I can use a computer to make research, right? So, and many other uses, right? Good. Let us go ahead to see what makes up a computer. A computer has got many parts. It has got many parts, it has got many components. But we have got what we call the basic computer parts, of which when they are not there, a computer cannot work well. And therefore, it doesn't mean a computer is comprised of only 4 parts. No. But they are the basic one, the most important one. Without them, a computer cannot work well. That's why we call them basic computer parts. We have got computer mouse, as we shall see how it looks like. We have got a monitor, we have got a system unit, and we have got a keyboard, right? So those 4 basic computer parts listed above are called the basic computer parts, just because a computer cannot work well without one of them, right? So without one of those parts listed above, a computer is likely not to work well. It's not likely to perform well. That's why a computer mouse, a monitor, a system unit, and a keyboard are called basic computer parts. And if I happen to ask a question that give the 4 basic computer parts, now I'm quite sure now you can answer that question without any problem. Let us go ahead to label parts of a desktop computer, and you'll be using this very knowledge to label or to name parts of a laptop computer, because you remember we looked at 2 types of computers, whereby we had the one called desktop computer, of which you are seeing now, and the one we call laptop computer, right? So those are the parts. This part here is the one we call a monitor. This one is called a system unit. This one is called a computer mouse. And this one is called a keyboard. And I'm quite sure now we can answer those questions. So it's for you young ones to try to answer those questions, to see whether you've understood what we have just covered, right? You can get a piece of paper, you copy those questions, and you try to answer, right? Now, as we have said that a computer is comprised of 4 basic computer parts, a computer mouse was one of them, and we are looking forward to see more about a computer mouse. A computer mouse is a pointing device of a computer, meaning that a computer mouse helps a user like you to point on items of your choice. So that computer mouse will be helping you to move a pointer to a desired place or to a desired item, right? Another person can say that a computer mouse is a device we use to point, to select, and to drag items from one place to another. So a computer mouse is a device used to point, select, and drag items. Hence, coming up with the 3 uses or with the uses of a computer mouse to a man. A computer mouse, one, is used to point on items, is used to select items, and we use a computer mouse still to drag items, to move items from one place to another. Here is the way, is how a computer mouse looks like. And in there we have tried to label or to name its parts. It has got a cable, right? Others call it a wire. We have got the left mouse button, right? This one. It's called the left mouse button because it is on the left hand side of the mouse. So it is on the left side of a mouse. And this one is called the right mouse button. I think you can now explain why it is called the right mouse button. Yeah, because it is on the right hand side of the mouse. And this one in the middle is called a scroll wheel. It's called a scroll wheel. We shall be seeing the use of each part as we proceed. Now, the reason as to why this computer part is called a computer mouse, it is just because it resembles or it looks like an animal called mouse. Now, if you are to observe, is that looking like it is looking like this animal called mouse that always eat our foodstuffs at home. Yeah, that's why you call it a computer mouse, just because it looks like an animal called mouse. That's how we hold a mouse, right? That's the way you must hold a mouse. So to hold the mouse, keep your thumb, here is the thumb, on the side of the mouse. Yeah. The index finger on the left button. Yes. Hoping you're observing. The middle finger on the right, this one will be handling this. This index finger will be the one handling the right button, the right mouse button. And while holding the mouse, relax your hand. Don't pressurize yourself. Hold it relaxedly. And make sure that your hand is straight with your arm. You should never have your wrist at an angle where you're using the mouse. Are you getting me well? So that's how you should hold the mouse. Let us try to look at the uses of a computer mouse. We are reviewing what we have been talking about before. That a computer mouse is used for pointing on items. Yeah? So if you feel like pointing on any items on your computer, then you use a mouse, of which the mouse will be guiding the pointer to the desired place. As you move the mouse from one place to another, still your pointer, this is what we call a pointer or a cursor, will be moving also, hence pointing on a desired item. So a computer mouse helps us to point on the items we feel like pointing. So a computer mouse helps us also to select items of our choice, right? We can use a computer mouse to select items. And we can use a computer mouse to drag items from one place to another. We can use a mouse to drag items from one place to another. Dragging simply means moving. So if you feel like moving an item from one place to another on a computer, you can use a computer mouse. So a computer mouse helps us to point on items, helps us to select items, and helps us to drag or to move items from one place to another. Yeah? While pointing on an item using a computer mouse, there is a small icon or a small symbol we always see moving on a monitor screen, and that icon or that symbol or that arrow is what you call a pointer or a cursor. So a cursor or a pointer is an arrow that you can use to point to different items on a monitor screen. So as you move the computer mouse from one place to another, there will be an arrow on a monitor screen moving in a direction of the mouse movement. So as you move the computer mouse, also the pointer moves. So you are the one guiding the pointer to move. So you move a pointer, this pointer, either to the left, to the right, at the bottom, in the middle, up. I can come and point on anything of my choice, right? Using a pointer. So this is a pointer. The one I'm moving is the one we call a pointer. Doesn't it resemble in this? It resembles this shape drawn here. So the pointer is just an arrow. It's an arrow that we use to point on different items on a monitor screen, right? And below are some of samples of cursors or pointers. As we shall see, when do they come? They always appear depending on what you are doing on a computer, as we shall explain in the next coming lessons. Right? Excuse me. Let us proceed with the activity. And I'm going to try that everyone can answer those questions. Right? Good. We have been looking at a computer mouse, and we've said that a computer mouse is a device we use to point on different items, right? And we said, in simple terms, we have said that a computer mouse is a pointing device of a computer. But apart from a computer mouse, there are other devices. There are other computer devices that serves the same purpose as the computer mouse we've been looking at. One of them is a laptop mouse pad. On your laptop, there is this area here called a mouse pad. It helps us to point on items the way a computer mouse does. It has got the left mouse button. It has also got the right mouse button, and has got what you call a touchpad. This touchpad is the one we use to move the pointer from one place to another. This area here, you just swipe that area using your index finger, right? Good. So you can use a laptop mouse pad to move the pointer from one place to another. That's why we are calling a mouse touch pad an example of a pointing device. Another example of a pointing device is a wireless mouse or a cordless mouse. That mouse still serves the same purpose as the other one you've looked at, having the cable. The other one had a cable around this area, but this one doesn't have. It has got a technology of working without being connected directly using a cable to a computer. This one uses wireless technology to communicate with a computer, hence serving the purpose of pointing, selecting and dragging items. So this wireless mouse, for it doesn't have a cable, but still serves the same purpose as the other computer mouse that had a cable. There are other main pointing devices, as I'm trying to show you. There is this trackball. It uses this area to move the pointer from one place to another. Yes, this is the left button, the other is the right button. There is what called the pointing stick. Yeah, the pointing stick. There is the touchpad. There is the pen. Those one having those having tablets. They have ever seen that. Actually, this thing is called the stylus. This pen-shaped structure here the person is using here is the one we call a stylus. So it's also used for pointing. There is a joystick. Those one that enjoy video games. And there is a touch screen like these Android smartphones we are having. Just touching the screen using your fingers. So those are examples of pointing devices, right? There are some terms related to a computer mouse. So wherever we talk about the word clicking, what comes in your mind? Clicking simply means the act of placing a mouse button. We don't say place. We say click. So if I tell you click, I simply mean place a mouse button. So clicking is an act of placing a mouse button. Left clicking simply means the act of placing the left mouse button. That's why we are adding the word left. We've just said clicking is the act of placing a mouse button. So once I say left clicking, I mean placing the left mouse button. So whenever I say left click, I simply mean placing the left mouse button. It's like telling a computer that it is okay. Yes, this is what I wanted. So left button is used for agreeing, for accepting, for telling the computer this, yes, I agree with this. So left button is used if you feel like telling the computer that yes, where I'm pointing is where I wanted. So this act is what I wanted. So left click is used that way. Right clicking simply means the act of placing the right button of the computer mouse this time. And we usually use the right button of a computer mouse if you are in need of options. So when I right click, I'll be in position to see or to get a menu of a particular item you've selected, for you to make options or for you to make a choice in that option list given. So right clicking helps us to see additional options on a particular item we have right clicked on. So when you place the right button of the mouse, it means you have right clicked. Why do we right click? So as to get more details, more options about that particular area. What about double clicking? Double clicking simply means placing the leftmost button twice. Twice means 2 times. So you place the leftmost button 2 times quickly. So when you place the leftmost button 2 times speedy, it means you have double clicked. So double clicking simply means the act of placing the leftmost button. What about selecting? Selecting, it is the act of moving the I-beam text cursor or the text cursor to take you back. I'm trying to show you what you call the I-beam. I'm trying to show you what you call the I-beam cursor or the text cursor. It's around here. No. It was around this area. Okay, there it is. There it is. The I-beam cursor is here. The I-beam. We call it the text cursor. We always use that text cursor when we are in need of selecting a particular area. So I was trying to explain what is meant by the term selecting. Sorry for taking you back, but I was trying to show you what you call the text cursor or the I-beam. So back here, selecting, it is the act of moving the I-beam, the one we have seen, the text cursor. You can call it an I-beam, or we can call it a text cursor. So when you move a text cursor over an item, it means you are doing what you call a selecting process. So selecting simply means the act of moving a text cursor over an item. Note, a selected item, what shows that you have selected an item? A selected item is always covered with a blue highlighting color. So when you see an highlighting color, it means you have selected, right? as we shall see in our practical lesson. As we shall see in our practical lesson. What about dragging? Dragging is the act of placing. Dragging is the act of placing, holding down the leftmost button and moving the mouse from one place to another. So when I place the left button of my mouse and hold it, and at the same time moving my mouse from one place to another, it means I'm doing a dragging process. So dragging simply means placing, holding down the left mouse button and moving the mouse button from one place to another. Hoping you understood me well. In here, I've also given you an activity related to what you've just covered. Try it. Try to give it a try. A monitor was one of the examples of basic computer parts, and we have been trying to look in a detailed way about those basic computer parts. We have just covered a computer mouse, of which you said it is a pointing device of a computer. Now this time we are looking at what we call a monitor. A monitor is a device used to show information. So it's a computer part used to display. Display means showing. It is a computer device used to show information. By the way, it has got another name. Another name for a monitor is visual display unit, abbreviated as VDU. So when I ask you to give a full form of VDU, you say visual display unit. Actually, monitors often look similar to televisions, as we're going to see, but they have got differences, as I will explain. Examples of information that can be shown on a monitor. It includes videos, photos, documents, movies, games, and so on, and many others. Let us look at the way a computer monitor looks like, and they are of two types. There are one we call LCD monitors, the flat screens, the one with the flat screens. These ones here are the one we call LCD monitors. LCD in full, it is liquid crystal display. And this one with the big behind, the protruding behind, is one we call a CRT monitor. CRT in full, it is cathode ray tube. We shall be seeing details about these types, the advantages over the other, and the disadvantages of some. We go on. There is a sample, those are sample questions related to what you've just covered. You try it. You try it. That's how an LCD monitor looks like, and we are trying to name the parts. So this part where we view information from Yes, it is a glass form. That part here is what we call a screen. This part here that holds the monitor firm on the ground or on a table is what we call a stand. And this button here, actually it has been small here. I've tried to magnify it for you to see it clearly. It's the one we call a power button. Let us look at the use of each part. The use of each part of our monitor. The power button is the one we use to turn on. Turning on means starting, so switching on. So we use a power button to turn on a monitor. And we can still use it for turning off a monitor. Turning off is like switching off or stopping. Or you finished using a particular device and you want to switch it off, then you say turning off. So this power button on a monitor can be used to turn it on and to turn it off a monitor. A screen, it is a monitor part or a part of a monitor used to show information. So a screen is a part of a monitor used for showing or for displaying information. Understand helps a monitor to stand on a ground firmly. So a stand is used to hold a monitor firm on a desk or on a ground, any ground where you feel like putting your monitor. And that is the activity related to that covered part. You can still try it. Mind you, you can use this very platform to copy notes. Those pupils in primary 3, primary 4, you can copy that notes. It is softened in a way that the language is not too hard for you to understand. That's why I'm teaching at a low pace. I'm using normal used words. I'm trying to avoid complicated words such that you can understand well what I'm trying to explain. And that marks the end of today's lesson. And I think parents, you can help young ones to get computer content. This is just the theoretical part. I'm planning to start the practical part. I wish you well. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more and more computer lessons, both theoretical lessons and practical lessons. God bless. Wish you well.